Alrighty. So, I'm recording you this right now. I'm not very good at this. Alright, let's talk about something. Let's talk about this, that, and the other thing. I guess I could talk clearly because it just looks like I am on the phone. But I am not. I am podcasting. Let's talk about some interesting topics that are very interesting. They're so interesting that you have no idea just how interesting these topics could be. They're gonna just blow your mind, and you just won't even have any idea about how interesting this idea is. It's just so interesting. Alright. So, tried doing a daily video, and then I kind of fell off. Probably should have stuck with it. Didn't though. But probably should have. Turned out to be a little hard to do on the regular, but I still want to, and I still really want to continue doing video. But I think that the amount of ideas that I had would be so I have so many that it's hard for me to work on it. I guess one video, takes a while to put together, especially with my hardware setup with laptops and stuff. My laptop is pretty slow. Yeah. I'm liking doing this right now, though. It's funny to do anything really creative. It's like super important to have your own space, or just have some space where you're alone. I think it's pretty easy to, when I'm streaming, to discuss stuff because my friends are there, and I'm kind of bouncing off them. But even that's hard because we have the games, and the focus is on that. Right, and it's kind of split, It's like, usually when people do a podcast or a stream, they're not really doing multiple things. I prefer just sitting there and talking on the mic and kind of BSing and whatnot. I found that pretty fun. YouTube videos, there is quite a lot of competition out there. That doesn't mean that I don't think that there should be more people who put more YouTube videos out there. I do believe that. I do believe that I want more content to be put out there. More people to get a chance to put out their stuff. And I want to hear from more perspectives. And I want to get information, all new kinds of information. If you just watching the same YouTube videos by the same people. You might not ever get that. And YouTube videos are, a lot of times pretty well edited. They take a lot of time. People put a lot of work into them. Podcasts are funny because outside of Bill Burr, I don't really know anybody who does a solo podcast. But I think I did hear Tim Ferriss do a podcast. Or just him just talking about stuff. And it was very interesting. But, it's usually easier to have someone there that you want to bounce your ideas off of or gain ideas from or whatever, Streaming's funny. It's very interesting. I find it difficult to have random viewers and discover your content on YouTube. YouTube also doesn't allow me to live stream from my phone. You have to have at least 1,000 subscribers, which kind of makes sense. I mean, bandwidth costs a lot of money, and they don't want everybody with a phone just kind of streaming on there. But the cool thing is that Periscope actually offers, you could do that. I could have been streaming right now, but I thought it might be a good idea to keep this on a DL and do this off live. What's not live? Not live, off live. Previously recorded. I don't know. Not live. I think that streaming, podcasting, YouTube are really interesting avenues of content service delivery of the new media age. I think it's funny, when I was acting, there was this category of a production, and it was called SAG New Media, and it's still called that, I assume. And it's anything anything that was, I guess, invented after 1990 as a form of media, and they call it new media, because like web series and stuff. I question whether YouTube is the place that's a web series is appropriate. Not that you shouldn't use YouTube for your web series, but I think that YouTube is really great for kind of reality, real life content. I don't know if it's formatted in a way for content that isn't really real fiction. I think that YouTube is amazing for a lot of the content that I love, just informative, funny, but a lot of the stuff that gets popular that's like kind of scripted fiction, I'm gonna call it. Someone else called it. Someone else came up with the word fiction. If you knew that, fiction content is. What? My cat woke me up way too many times last night. Okay. So I don't know if fiction is served by the way YouTube is formatted. I think nonfiction is greatly served by the way YouTube is formatted. Because YouTube is so personal, I think that you're so up close with people, with ideas, that it's hard to put, fiction over that. You see, like, I think the only fiction content that does well on YouTube, in my opinion, from what I've seen, and the YouTube algorithms shows us different stuff, so maybe I'm not seeing the same YouTube everybody sees, is usually short, skit-based content, very short, very funny, hilarious, great content. I love a lot of YouTube comedy channels and people who make that sort of content, especially the really short skits. And the thing is that I have never really watched series is on there, and I know a lot of people, who, when I was acting, who wanted to create web series and stuff. I've thought about it, and I thought to myself, I don't know if it's served best on here, and if this is where you really want to be creating that sort of content. YouTube is so personal. Usually people film very, smaller screen, right? So, usually the camera is mounted pretty close. Production values are not high in the sense that usually there's not a massive budget. Usually the turnaround time between videos isn't, well, sometimes it takes a really long time, but usually the amount of manpower behind a video is pretty small, right? A lot of times it's just one person, and when you have just one person, it takes a lot of people to make a movie, a lot of people to make a TV show. So many more people are on set than the actors, right? And not more than just the cameraman and this and that. If you ever stayed for the credits after a movie, you'd have seen that. Best thing to do to be able to understand the gravity of that is just be an extra on one of those shows. Oh my gosh, those days are so long. But a lot of those fiction stories they're made real by a lot of people's work, and to create that fictional world, it takes a lot of work, more. As an actor, they say a lot to create your own work. And that's great. That's wonderful. And you should. I don't know if I know the best place to put like a web series that you've done or something like that. But comedy goes really far on YouTube, and occasionally, occasionally short films get passed around and get kind of popular. I think that if you're making content for YouTube, I think the best thing to do, even for advice I'd give myself if I was to go back, would be to. I really should have just been vlogging the entire time and kind of talking about the process, talking about stuff, and just getting myself, I guess, even more comfortable on camera, even though it's not really acting. If you ever see, Hank Green's videos about how he makes a vlog and how to make a vlog, he's reading from a script and he's delivering the script, right? So if you want to learn just, being comfortable on camera, delivering words that you see, and kind of maybe gaining some appreciation for the editing process, then I think that that's a great place. YouTube's a great place to do that sort of thing. It's funny that maybe Medium is the message. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about when I say that. It's very possible that I don't. I think that when you just are limited on resources, people really want, I think authenticity can go a really long way on any medium. And it's funny because I don't really listen to many solo podcasts, but I'm trying to do that right now, and I'm recording this one right now. And, you know, maybe it'll go nowhere, but it's interesting, and I have so many thoughts that maybe it's good for me to just kind of express them as is. And I love podcasts, and I'm just kind of getting into the world of streaming. I love watching YouTube live, like if somebody's like a YouTube channel that I like and they're doing a live stream, I'm very interested. I haven't done much in the way of watching Let's Plays or people play games online. But you know, I'm learning about it, and I think it's great that when we were streaming, we got a lot of interactions on Periscope and stuff, and that's really cool. So live streaming is really it's a newer thing to me. It's not that new in general, but it's new to me, and could be very interesting. Super fly. Let's see what time it is. Okay. Got a couple more minutes. So I hope the audio comes out clear on this. I really enjoyed actually just kind of sitting here BSing, even if it's only me. At least I'm kind of clarifying my own thoughts on things, and that's cool. And I think that I really stand by the whole idea, at least, that if you're working on something, at least for me, it really helps to find some solitude to be able to do that in. Just so you don't feel judged, because you feel so judged by yourself, right? Like, it's why people like talk about, oh, it's weird to vlog in public. It is weird to vlog in public. It's weird to feel judged by other people. You know, if I was holding up my phone right now on my lunch break, you know, people might be looking, whoa, what's he doing? And then my mind is not fully into talking, to discussing these ideas. When you're a YouTuber, you learn so much about editing and that sort of thing, and I think that it's going to cause a generation of people who really are just even better editors than ever before. You know, people who are behind. You have people who. These people who make YouTube videos are great on camera and off. These people, they're doing the full thing, behind and off cameras. They understand so much about production, and I think that it's gonna result in some really great production people coming up. Because now you have to do both, and people who understand the full process and maybe appreciate it a little bit more. I guess having your own space is really important, you know, like I currently do my streams not at my own place, I do it at my mom's, and it's difficult in some ways because, you know, you get interrupted. It's not really your space, it's not yours, but if I'm anywhere, if I'm even with a friend and I'm trying to do something that I'm interested, like some kind of something, create something, you know, you always feel like you're judged a little bit, you know. It's kind of the reason, I don't know, you know, I improvise songs with my friends, and it's really weird if other people are around, because you're like, because especially if they're blank expression about it, because then you just assume they're not liking it. You can't really get into it. And I could think of times where I felt very judged about what I was doing, and I was like, oh no, what am I doing? Well, the thing is created to be judged, right? I don't know, maybe it is. But you really should want your head to be 100% in it, right? So maybe the act of having people around is harmful to a certain kind of creative process, right? Like, Rogan was asked by somebody recently, I'm sure someone very interesting, I just forgot who, why doesn't he do the podcast live? And he said that no, it would change everything. The whole idea is that, oh, I remember who. Eric Weinstein. I'm so sorry, Eric. He said, you know, if we don't do it publicly, because we don't do it live, because of this, and he said Eric still felt like he was anxious because there's a lot of people listening. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about that. Somebody asked me, you know, why don't you do a live podcast? And he says that people change, you know, when there's audiences involved. Talk shows are really different than like a conversational podcast, interview show, you know, anywhere from NPR's Fresh Air. There's no audience there clapping along over answers or laughing or trying to get a reaction at all. I think that changes everything. Personally, I think that the personal, like, you know, one-on-one thing is kind of nice, you know. It's or even, you know, in a vlog, it's like just a person talking to you, right? Just one person talking to you about something. That's nice. Not that I don't love the live experience, seeing something live, but maybe if you're always playing for laughs or playing for reactions at all, it changes the way you're creating. I think, you know, I guess to wrap up, it's really interesting to think about all this new media we have out there. We have streaming, we have YouTube, and we have podcasts. And to see these three things and how much I utilize all three, like, as a consumer, and to see the world of media and how much it's changed from how it was before, it's kind of cool. This podcast wasn't very funny, but here's my thoughts about it. I think it's worth trying each thing to try to create a great YouTube video. Try to create a YouTube video you could stand. You know, try to create one podcast you could understand. Do one stream to get it done, because so technically it can be a nightmare. And it's still a nightmare. We still have to have audio issues that I just heard. Oh God, and you know, you see all these little technical, what happens here, what the costs are involved, what equipment is needed, and I recommend, you know, with whatever equipment you have right now, do the most bearable version of each one of those. It's very interesting, because you can create it and you can put it out there and nobody will watch it, or somebody will watch it, so I can pick up on it. That'd be great. Maybe you'll just have fun in just the creative process. But I recommend doing all three, and I wish I started doing all three a long time ago. But I'm doing them now, so that's cool. And it's funny how they all can interact. Like, a live stream could be a podcast, it could be edited into a video on YouTube, a punchy video that's worth watching. People listen to a podcast on YouTube. People watch live streams on YouTube. It's all of it. There's all this crossover. It's a really interesting time. I don't know if I'm missing like a form of media consumption right now, but I think those are kind of the big three. Yeah. All right. Well, that was kind of interesting to do. I'm really grateful that I had some alone time to be able to work on it. All right. I think I'm going to try this more often. Just kind of explore ideas for a little bit and not be funny for a half hour. All right. I guess I'll publish this later. That upload process, oh my gosh. Hopefully there's no hiccups. Well, at least I don't have to edit this because I don't want to. All right. Thank you so much. And remember, don't, do that thing.